Hello, hello, hello. It is another episode of the Ball Card Show, the Esports Podcast.
For the Esports Collector.
I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary LeMaster.
And we're going to jump right into it. How are you, my buddy?
I'm doing all right. It's been a bit of a week, but we'll get there. We told you last week my father-in-law died and had the funeral Monday, and it's just been a little bit of a blur since then. But we're here. We're going to talk sports. We're going to talk sports cards. We might make fun of each other a little bit.
Good chance.
Yeah, pretty good chance on that front. And hopefully by the end of it, you've gotten something out of it that is either going to tickle your ears or make you chuckle or give you some information that makes you some money down the road.
All right, time will tell.
We'll see. We got a whole
All right,
segment
we were
on that.
down at Xenia last week. I don't know if you want to talk through a whole lot of pickups. I grabbed probably about 400 or 500 cards out of some lower end stuff there.
Your normal move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did pretty well. I averaged out at like 15 cents a card. And there were several cards that were like the early 2000s, like Bowman Chrome refractors, Topps Chrome refractors, just cool football. So I went heavy on football, a little bit of basketball. Most of that stuff's listed. I'm trying to think if I picked up anything else. Oh, I picked up a couple of Big Poppy, low-numbered relics.
Yeah.
So those are pretty cool. Those are on the bay too. It's weird now. I have to decide, am I going to maybe buy something for myself or am I working? Because it's like the stuff I buy for inventory is not the stuff that I would look for at all, which usually means I'm at tables that I typically wouldn't hang out at that much.
Yeah.
And then the challenge with the low end bulk is like, to do it right, I've got to spend like an hour or two at a table going through boxes, and then your brain's kind of like, ugh.
Mush.
Yeah.
Well, you did buy something for yourself at Xenia. You didn't mean to, but you did. So I had a kid walk up to my table, and we did a little cash trade. I had a Lawrence Butler Lightboard rookie card, and he had this. It was just a cool card, not a valuable card, just a cool card. It was a Ryan Tannehill rookie, numbered to 50. It was a BGS 8.5.
Topps Prime.
Topps Prime auto RPA,
Yeah.
nice patch, nice chunk of football, nice auto. And after the deal was done, I just said, "Hey, I got one that's cool," because Jason's a Dolphins fan, and I said, "Hey, you got a cool one here for you, man." And I go to hand it to him to look at, and dude just like Icky Wood spikes that thing right into the ground. And accidentally, he goes to take it from me, and it starts to move, and so he's trying to catch it, and literally just. I've never seen somebody throw a slab unintentionally into concrete with more force.
It was a Beckett slab, and it didn't crack. It just smashed the corner. Like,
Just destroyed it.
so, like, if you've ever dropped something and then you're like trying to catch it, but you're like dropping it upwards, and then my hand got over top of it to grab it, and basically that's when I Hulk smashed it. But
The best part about it was he didn't know what it was at this point. He hadn't even been able to see it.
Here's what I did know: Dolphins. It looked like an RPA, and it also looked like either Immaculate or NT.
So
And I'm watching it hurl towards the concrete because I thought here's what usually that is. Hey, you want to check this out? Usually it's show and tell, right? Like I thought he got some filthy like Marino, Zach Thomas, some like iconic,
I see
Dolphins
the
pack.
math happening behind his eyes. How much money do I owe him right
No,
now?
my question, as soon as it happened, I said, what was the comp? I didn't even want to know what the card was. Luckily, it was Tannehill.
That was
out
a $20 card. It wasn't a big
which
deal,
I would have
right?
given him $20 for anyway. But
It was pretty funny moment.
Forgot about that.
It was good time. Just like Hulk smash directly into the concrete. It's like, oh, well, I guess you're going to have to crack it out of that slab to display it.
yeah, you had a couple buyers come through. The show's a little slower. Now, I will say this. I have not been a consistent Xenia guy. I haven't set up there in probably over a year now. But I've probably been to 3 or 4 shows. It's definitely getting lighter traffic. Like half of the second room. Nobody was even at the tables by like 10 o'clock. So it was like 11 people were setting up. Buckeyes had a noon game.
And there was another really big show within about 4 hours.
Where was that one?
The Fort. It's
okay.
one of Brad Beeman's shows.
Yeah,
it
I mean,
was
that's a bit of a hike, but yeah, some
like
serious
a lot of
collectors.
The,
yeah.
Well, and a lot of the bigger name guys that are normally at Xenia, like Logan wasn't there. Ryan was Card Collector 2 wasn't at Xenia. Great Sports Cards wasn't at Xenia. Four Bagger wasn't at Xenia. Like a lot of these guys that are bigger name dealers that are either at Xenia to sell or to buy were at the Fort for that show. So, and that show was banging. So I would say that probably a good 30% of the traffic that would normally be at Xenia was
What town is that in?
up there. Fort Wayne.
Okay, that makes
So,
sense.
It was good. They had a good show up there. Xenia ended up being okay. I had a really fun pickup. I had talked to a guy about a card the night before on Facebook, and he happened to be in the same town as me and said he was going to be at Xenia, so I went ahead and got it. When he got there, I picked up the Joe Mixon Prism Black Finite 1/1 rookie, which was kind of cool.
You already sold it, right?
No, it's still there.
You had somebody pretty close to making
I had a couple guys look at it, but it's still sitting there. And then I picked up the gold PSA 10 rookie Prism Auto number to 10 to go with it this week. So pickups wise, it's just been normal stuff for me. The normal stuff I like to buy. You were looking at some of like the heavy lumber Ken Griffey Jr. Not a huge card, but it's an SSP. It's a Griffey. It'll sell. The McGuire on card.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So it's the Topps Chrome Black. Any of those like vet / guys that could be in the Hall of Fame, which obviously that's a unique scenario, but they're good looking cards. They have nice autos on them.
They're on card.
There's a little bit more of a premium license product, but not insane. I don't know if I'd use the word premium, but it's nice. It doesn't look cheap, so
right.
they did pretty well. I had a couple nice cards sell over the weekend. I did go ahead and sell the Yoshi red to 5. I got $640 out of it.
And you were, when we had it at Xenia, you were like, I told you I thought it would probably end up around 6, and you were like, I'd even take a little less.
Yeah,
than that. So
5
it was
to
a win
7
for
was the goal.
You ended up netting right in the middle of what you were hoping for in all likelihood.
Yeah. The red auto out of the silver pack just moved at 900, so I knew I didn't have a $900 card.
Right.
So I probably could have held out, maybe got another $50, but honestly, I'd rather have that money and reinvest it.
Especially because you were in it.
Yep.
You hit in a break. So.
Yep. The other one that sold for me was the PSA 9 87 Panini Mike Tyson. It was starting to get more traction. I know that fight's coming up. I was surprised it didn't get a little more love. This year, that exact card in a 9 had a couple of lower comps. So I was getting nervous that I was going to get beat out of that, but I got a little bit over, was it just a little over $400 on it? So there's comps around 350 and some closer to 5. So again, happy to see that go to a new home. What sucks about a low-end store is you sell a few nice cards and you start looking around at your stuff. You're like, oh, I got a bunch of junk, man. But it's selling.
That's why you do what I do. You just focus on the interesting stuff. That was the 2 cards that came in this week that were my favorites. They're not big cards, but the old school certified, Leaf certified game use stuff. I got a really nice Mike Allstott 4-color patch, numbered to 25, and then a Steve McNair numbered to 9, all game used. That stuff sells really well for me. So, yeah, overall, pickup's good this week. Hopefully this weekend will be really good too. I'm in Cincinnati at Eastgate on Saturday. So if you're in the Cincinnati area, come out to Eastgate Mall. It'll be a good show. I think it's like a 150-table show. So
That's this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the Saturday of the 9th. So should be good.
Did I talk about opening up Allen and Ginter last week?
You did.
Okay. There's a subset. I'm going to take a look at this. You and I were wondering. I'm just going to see if these. Interesting. Allen and Ginter is known for weird cards. Like there's kind of a non-sport / celebrity part to this. The weird one they did this year, the cards feel really nice. Like
those would look so good in an SGC slab.
They're kind of cool. It looks like they don't have much value at all.
Yeah, they're a chrome card. They're just cool.
Yeah, chrome X-rays of different animals. Like I'm looking at one, a bearded dragon. You know, but the whole set looks kind of weird. Very weird. Look at that. That's a little bit terrifying.
Yeah.
Painted dog, African painted dog. Anyway, look at that. Oh,
there's some weird stuff.
That one's twerking or pooping.
One of the two.
I can't tell. But yeah, open that product up. That is one that it cracks me up. If you watch breaks or follow or even get involved in them, how excited these breakers get over products that clearly are not that exciting. Like, you know, it has to be a chore to do a case break of Allen and Ginter with all those minis.
I get messages from my buddy who works at Backyard every night. So Stadium Club came out this week.
Don't get your boy in trouble.
I'm not. That's why I'm not mentioning names.
Do they have a lot of employees?
Yeah, they've got like 30 dudes that break there. I got a message.
Definitely not the one you're thinking.
I got a message and he goes, I feel so bad for the buyers. We just opened 2 cases of this dog shit Stadium Club. Stadium Club came out this week, in case you were wondering.
Is there a guaranteed auto in each box?
I believe so.
Like,
Yes, but they're
like
usually
Series
rough.
1, 2, and Update, I think the cards are in better condition. I've never seen a product. Well, that's not true. I've seen some like hanger packs. I've never seen a product out of a box have more busted corners than Stadium Club because of the way that they try to do a nice all-over print
It's-
photo
Yeah, the photography in Stadium
and the
Club
paper
is
they use.
awesome.
Yeah,
Now, one of the cool things in Stadium Club this year, though,
Hall of
that I
Fame
really
SPs are kind
like-
of cool.
Well, they also did the 92-93 basketball beam team
Okay.
design.
Yeah.
And it's really cool looking. It
Yeah.
looks really good. The Ellie looks awesome. It's
That'd be a
one
fun
I'm gonna try to
little
pick up
set.
for myself. Yeah, especially if I can find the number
What
ones.
have you seen that comped at all?
I haven't.
Let me pull one up. Let's see if we
Haven't
can get one.
even looked. But yeah, Stadium Club came out this week, and it was interesting to say the least. So yeah,
Oh,
there you
wow,
go.
it looks
It looks
awesome.
an awesome looking card.
Um,
So it looks like it's gonna be about $100 card. There's one on auction right now that's at $77.
that will be the most expensive one, though, right?
I would think
Okay.
probably. Oh, there's buy it now. It's at $199, $299,
Well, yeah.
$229.
These are just the first 3 to it. You know how that works, like
Yeah.
that first 5 or 10 that sell. But $229, $199, $179. I think it ends up being about $100 to
$100
$125.
card.
Yeah. So how many are in that set?
I don't know.
Hopefully it's not a bunch.
I mean, Beam Team it used to be a 20 card set when it was just basketball. So I don't know. I mean, they've always put them in Stadium Club, but this year they actually look really nice. It just says BT1.
Okay, so here's one thing I have a gripe about. See, there's the corner.
Yeah,
like you
well,
can't buy
it's
this
full
stuff without.
bleed in the back.
All right, so I liked that back in the day when they did inserts, they let you know how many there were.
Yeah, 2 of 20.
2 of 12.
1 of 30.
Yeah.
The only bad thing about that is new guys come into the hobby now and they think they have some super valuable
It's
numbered
1 of
cards.
10.
There's only 10 of these in the world. Nobody. There's 10 in that set. There's millions of those in the world. I
Son,
don't know
that's
what to
a Leaf Studio Dream Team card.
Yeah.
There's a few of those out there. But I think that would be a cool subset to do. I might do that because I haven't really purchased a nice Ellie. Now, what I also like about this is by doing that design for multiple reasons, these are tough grades. Don't expect a lot of 10s on these.
No, they'll be very low
And-
low pop.
Be ready for everybody to lose their mind because they can't believe it, but they didn't look at the back. And the edges on the back. So,
Well, it's full bleed black on the back.
It's
so
kind of
you
like-
end up with a real weird situation.
all right. So you can't cheat this card on centering on the front
Nope.
because of the angled borders. Secondly, the surface is going to be an issue because you have bright
Foil.
chrome on
It's foil.
it's a foil on paper, so
Yep.
good chance it's already going to be chipped. Then you flip around to the back, and 3 of the 4 borders are blacked out. So you
And-
basically get to do the
And the
1971 thing.
one of the 3 is half blacked out. More than half blacked out.
Yeah, so it's going to be a tough grade, but it would be a sweet set to do. I think they could get more than 1 year of mileage out of this. I wish they would just be like sticking with more of the retro Beam Team stuff, which maybe they do and I'm unaware. But if I find that around $100, I might buy it at it.
Absolutely.
That's a cool one to have. And do you know how short printed that is?
No clue. I just know it's a short.
On
print.
eBay, it says SSP, so it has to be. You can put that on anything.
I mean, Stadium Club, back in the day, Stadium Club, the foil beam teams were one every like 3 or 4 boxes. They're pretty low printed. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it's a case hit. The way it's priced there lets me to believe it's a case hit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully one walks up to me at Eastgate tomorrow.
That'd be
I'll
sweet
buy it.
for me, right?
I mean, I'll buy it. You can buy it from me.
Well, now it's sounding expensive. Other release, Donruss Football came out.
Yep, Donruss Football retail outside of the Costco bundle hasn't dropped yet, but it is out.
Everybody buy downtowns.
Don't overpay for the rookies right now. Just don't do it. Don't fall into that trap. The red Pandoras look nice. There's a lot of them. Don't fall into that.
I'm going to say
trap.
it.
What's that?
I don't think downtowns hold their value 5 years from now.
I think that I disagree, and here's why. People are going to continue to prop the market up.
I don't think it holds.
I mean, you may be right.
Why are they so desired? It just became the thing to have.
Yes. Why does anything become
I mean,
desired?
it's short printed. Yeah, fair enough. But there's other products that have SSP sets that just never had that kind of excitement.
So,
Obviously, the Kabooms did, but those have a little bit longer. Those have been around for 11 years now,
yeah,
right?
so with the thing with case hits, this is something that's really interesting to me. And I have this conversation with people as somebody who's been a long-time baseball card collector and collects other stuff too, but baseball. I try to explain to people are like, why do like Hometown Advantages, which are like Topps' version of a downtown for baseball, you can buy those for nothing. Why? Because baseball collectors don't tend to care about case hits. They care about numbered rarity, and they care about vintage rarity, and they care about, certain sets and versions of cards. But just the fact that something is a case hit in and of itself doesn't mean anything to most baseball card collectors. A common downtown of a nobody. You go find yourself a Desmond Ritter rookie downtown, you'll still get $100, $150 for that card.
That's what's weird to me about it, but yeah.
You can go buy an Ellie De La Cruz rookie home field advantage for $80.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that was football, it'd be CJ Stroud's $1,000 card.
Yeah.
So it's all everything about every market, but in the sports card world even more so. Hype drives everything, and hype based on player or product drives everything. We talked about it with this Wemby stuff with the Mercury.
Yep.
Hype drove that.
Now here's where I'll give them their flowers over at Donruss and Optic. The fact that you can pull that card out of a blaster that you bought at a reasonable price, that is something that is going to be going by the wayside. The days of that, I mean, there's not that many products left where you can do that.
And I've reached the point. So today this happened to me. We were a little slow work today, so I stopped at a Target, and they had just stocked, and there were 10 NFL Select Megas on the shelf. You know how many I bought?
Zero.
Yeah. I picked up 3 or 4, and I thought about it for a minute. I went, why am I going to spend $240 on these when I'll just keep that $240 in my pocket, and Saturday at the show, people are going to walk up to my table with actual cards that I want, and I'll just buy those.
They're going to bring you the hits, and you'll buy them at 60%.
Yeah. So I just didn't buy any of it.
Yep. We showed them.
Wow.
All right, let's talk a little bit of football. So we're going to do we're going to kind of run through a list. We're kind of mid-season-ish here. And we're going to run through a few names we talked about at the beginning of the season, and we're going to just say, were we right or were we wrong?
Sounds fun. Let's do it.
I know you'll like at least half of that. Up first, Caleb Williams.
Oh, we were right.
We were right. We thought we might not be right for like 1 week, and then the next week we're like, okay, we were right.
Now, Caleb Williams had about a 2.5 game stretch against 3 of the worst teams in the league where he looked like a pretty good quarterback, and then he got right back to playing functional NFL defenses and looks like trash because his skill set at its current price, at its current point, does not translate well to the NFL. He's pulling up these per game stats. I mean, dude's got a 41.9 QBR. What's he, 27th or 28th in the league?
9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah. What's his completion percentage?
He's tied for 61st.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's not great. He's at 60%. He's drastically.
That's a little better than I thought it was.
Yeah, but that was propped up with 3 games
Week
in a row
3.
right there. Week 3, 4, and 5. He was pretty good, and then all of a sudden he's back to playing against functional. That was against Jacksonville, Carolina, and the Rams. And the Rams.
If he didn't come across as so arrogant, I'd probably have a little more room for him. But he is that guy.
Yeah, look at the numbers this last week. I mean, his yards per attempt is horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
He's under 50% in 3 games this year, and under 60% in multiple games this year. It's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 2 300-yard games and 400-yard games. 1 sub 100-yard game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not good.
Sub 100.
Yeah.
Against
Tennessee. Yeah. I mean,
I felt a little pressure, but
it is what it is, but he ain't the guy.
So, Caleb Williams, are we right or wrong? We are
right.
All right. Let's talk about one that might go differently. There's a young man in Baltimore that seems to have caught a second wind.
The thing is he's not young. Hence why
Derrick Henry.
He's a man.
He is not done, and we were very wrong.
Yeah, we both
We were
thought that
very
he just
wrong.
didn't have any gas left in the tank, and Tennessee had gotten out at the right time. And
He just found the right
evidently-
scheme. It was
Well,
a
that's-
perfect fit.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Evidently, the threat of Lamar Jackson keeping the ball keeps teams honest.
How would you like? So here's the thing. Like, that's a really tough team to have a defensive plan for.
Yeah, you. What's your poison? And the thing with Derrick Henry is even now, he's stronger in the fourth quarter than
He's
he
still
is in the
4 yards
second.
after contact all day.
Yeah, and nobody wants to tackle him.
Yeah.
If you try to tackle him high, he's going to make you look stupid. If you try to tackle him low, you're going to take a knee to the face. It's just not. It's not fun for anybody. And if you commit linebackers to clog up the middle, they run a lot of that read option stuff, and Lamar will just pull the ball and go for 15 on you
Yeah.
because you don't have anybody that can catch him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his numbers this year are just insane. He's over 1,000 yards at the halfway point of the season. Like,
170. So he's already at 168 carries. Oh my gosh! 2 years ago he had 350. No wonder he was tired.
well, the year and 2 years before that, he had 378
Yeah.
and 303.
So he's at 168, 6 yards a carry. He's already got 11 touchdowns. 87 is his longest. Yeah,
Yeah, and hey, guys, this is really disgusting. His rookie stuff is still pretty cheap.
Yeah.
It's still pretty
Yeah.
cheap. I know running backs don't tend to move the needle, but you can go buy really nice Derrick Henry rookie stuff for less than you can buy Jahmyr Gibbs rookie stuff for.
and honestly, he's terrifying when they do the all black unis and he's got
Oh,
the visor
yeah.
on. Have you seen some of the field level shots of him running? Like, how would you try to tackle
He
this man?
doesn't look like he has the same genetics as the rest of us.
And he's trucking.
Yes.
He's so big that he doesn't look like he's moving that fast until you can see everyone else trying
he's
to catch him.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah. So with Derrick Henry, are we right or wrong? We were wrong.
We were wrong. After
He's-
week 2, we thought we were right, but we weren't.
We're not at all.
Nope.
Jaden Daniels.
Right.
We were right.
I was 100%
Special.
right on that. You were too. I still think Penix is going to be really good, but Daniels has really shown something. It's his leadership, the poise in the pocket that kid has
Mhm.
is otherworldly.
Yeah.
Like it's Joe Burrow level pocket poise.
Let's talk about Saquon over in Philadelphia.
Right.
He's doing special things.
Yeah, he is. He's we were talking about it pre-episode, the backwards hurdle
Yeah.
and the throwback uni.
That creativity. I'm going to do something nobody's done yet. Have you
What's
ever seen that? Backwards hurdle?
Oh, yeah, no. I thought you were saying you were getting ready to do something nobody's ever done before. I was like, oh, really? What's that? You're just on Google right now. I'm interested to see what you're going to use
Attempt to
Google
type
for
without having to use the backspace.
that nobody has done. Yeah.
Am I making you crazy that I'm switching between different sites
It doesn't
to
make
check
sense to
stats?
me at all when you could have just
But
used
it's getting the
search
job
bar,
done.
on the site, but that's okay.
He's
I-
at 100. How many? It doesn't have total carries here. Huh?
Yeah, I use Pro Football Reference.
That's
what
cool,
I
man.
use, but-
I'm just Googling their names and then seeing what it'll give me. But this is an interesting stat line that doesn't give totals.
yeah, it does right there for
okay, yeah,
2024.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
the season.
So he's already at 925 yards.
He's almost 6 yards a carry.
He's at 6 yards a carry. Now he has a lot less touchdowns.
Yeah,
than
but
Derrick
go
Henry,
look
but-
at his receiving touchdowns. So he
Yeah.
has 8. He's 3 behind total touchdowns.
Yep. That's another team that seems to be figuring it out a little bit.
And I mean, they
We
also
had
have
you
the
know,
tush
speaking
push
of him, we talked about
Jalen Hurts too.
We talked about Jalen Hurts, and then it was looking like he was cold, and what's going on with coaching and this and that. They've been looking a little bit better.
Yeah, the last 2-3 weeks things have started to click. I think he had 4 or 5 total touchdowns a couple weeks ago, 3 rushing touchdowns.
I think that loss to the Buccaneers is a little bit of a wake up call.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Speaking of Baker still slinging it though. I know he wasn't on our list, but I was right about Baker too. He's slinging it.
yeah, but you can't get past. If you are not putting away Kansas City in the fourth quarter, you have a good chance of losing. And Patrick Mahomes does things that don't look fancy. It doesn't look like he did anything. And, the officials, all that stuff too. But it's legit. It's just so hard to beat that team if you let them stick around.
Yeah, and you look at Mahomes' stat line this year, it's not good.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's not horrific, but it's not good. If up until this week, he had thrown more interceptions than touchdowns up until this week. And this last week, he finally went over. But it's like 11-9. He's not in the top 5 of really any stat other than completion percentage. And, of course, wins, where they're 8-0.
He's got 1,900 yards already.
Pull up Joe Burrow real quick. Because Joe Burrow is playing the quarterback position right now better than anybody in the league.
Now, here's what's interesting. Hobby related.
Joe Burrow, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Hobby related. He is, and we live in an area where he moves more.
His stuff is down.
It's way down.
Yeah.
Way less demand. And I think that's where you have a little bit of the fanboy stuff when the team isn't dominating and they're not like at the top of the news cycle because you have insane things happening with the Commanders, Saquon, what he's doing. There's some way bigger storylines, and then Cincinnati's just kind of looks a little more meh on the eye test this year. But you're right, the numbers that he's putting up.
Offensively, they don't.
He's already at 2,240 yards,
20 touchdowns to 4 picks.
Yeah,
20-4.
Not bad.
Dude's on pace for like a 40-8 season.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's nuts. Over 7 yards an attempt. He's playing like
all right. That's all you get to talk about.
insane.
Your boy.
Go ahead.
I agree. He's playing really well. Okay. Were we right or wrong about this? Daniel Jones. Just give him a little more time.
Yeah, he's not.
I think we're wrong.
Yeah, he's not good.
I'm afraid to pull up his stats because.
Well, so what you're going to see is it's not going to be as. What did you just type?
I just typed in Dubois.
Oh my goodness,
That was good.
By
the way, this
second one-
website,
second one down.
website, just so you know, it was designed on Windows 95.
So his stat line isn't horrifying. 8 touchdowns to 5 picks.
8 touchdowns is rough.
Well, up until Monday night, that's how many touchdowns Patrick Mahomes had.
That's rough too.
And he's thrown fewer interceptions. He has this only 80 yards less passing than Patrick Mahomes.
8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
He's a bum, Gary.
Well, I'm not saying he's good. I agree.
Yeah.
My point is that
This guy's gonna.
perception.
Did you know that
Also, his neck freaks me out.
whoa! And Pro Football Reference. I
Vanilla
stand
Vic?
correct. I had not heard Vanilla Vic.
Oh, I'd heard Vanilla Vic.
Where did they come up with that?
Do you not remember early in his career, he had multiple 60-yard runs? Do you not remember
They were ugly though, right?
Well, do you not remember one where he fell down 10 yards from the end zone after he had run away from everybody, and his upper body was just going faster than his legs could keep up with it? He just fell down.
Vanilla Vic. I didn't
couldn't
know
roll
that.
into the
That
end zone.
stuck. That's great.
His neck just looks like there's a face pasted to a cylinder.
Your boy Davis Mills might have a bigger neck.
Well, yeah, it's not the length of the neck that's the issue. It's that the head goes straight down. There is no separation of roundness from the head to the neck.
You got issues of girth going from the head.
It's just
to
one
the neck.
cylinder with a face pasted to the front of it, like Beaker from the Muppets.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's that. So Daniel Jones, right or wrong? We were wrong. That's it. 2 of them that we were correct about. Well, one of them we were split on. I was wrong about. Anthony Richardson. I thought he was showing some flashes early on in the season. He was a little more disciplined. At this point, we have him sitting out because he's tired. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Is that what happened? Is
yes,
that actually what happened?
He even admitted it. He tapped out.
I know he
had,
said it.
He had 2 scrambles in a row and he was tired.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen that at any level of football from a quarterback. Ever.
You can literally throw a ball away on the next play and catch your breath.
Yeah, you can.
Which is wrong, but
you can literally just hand the ball off on the next play. You're going to get 2 plays in the huddle 99 out of 100 times, and you just check to the run.
Yeah.
I
was wrong about that. You were right.
There was no scenario where they couldn't bench him after that. There would have been a revolt within the team.
Now, he didn't start, but he played again that game the next
Yeah,
game.
he went back in 2 plays later. But you just can't do that as a quarterback.
No.
You also can't have a 44% completion percentage.
No.
You just can't. It's just not
speaking
functional.
of bad, we were correct about Bryce Young.
Oh,
Is he
Jesus.
starting again? Did I see that?
Yeah, because Andy Dalton broke his thumb in a car wreck. So he'll keep starting until that comes back. And
What a blow to the ego that had to be to the front office there. Hey, guys,
Yeah.
so.
with Bryce Young, I will say this. Since he came back to starting after Andy Dalton got hurt, it still hasn't been good, but it's been slightly better. Just
60% completion.
slightly better. Go to the per game. Go to game logs. Straight down from where you are. Boom. 2024. If you look at the last 2 weeks, it's been markedly better than it was early in the season.
24 for 37, 16 for
He's
26.
He's thrown 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. It's been markedly better. It's still not good enough to be a starter long-term in the league, but it's been better. And again, it all comes down to sometimes we blame these guys. Bryce Young is the same quarterback he was at Alabama.
Yes, this is a great point, and I think it specifically relates to the hobby. Current collectors are conditioned off of that 2019. Was it 2019 or 2020 that was loaded? Was
2020.
2020 draft
18 was
class.
loaded,
Yeah.
too.
18 was loaded. Obviously, 17 was insane at the time. We had, in the last 10 years, 2 or 3 rookie classes that were so stacked that people began to expect that there should be 3 to 5 good quarterbacks. So, for example, the ongoing debate Gary and I have, I keep retreating a little bit more each time. Obviously, injuries, I do believe, have affected that. But you cannot convince me that Tua is above or better than a top 15 quarterback. He's probably pushing more of that 15 to 20. Now, here's what was very evident last week. That Dolphins offense needs him. It's way better with him. And he's not terrible. But he is not that level of elite. He's not $330 million elite.
He can't carry a team by himself.
No.
He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's
Herbert's,
not those guys.
Herbert is kind of what
Herbert's
that's
pretty
a little
damn good.
Yeah,
People,
he's
I don't
good.
think I don't think Herbert gets the respect that he deserves. Part of it's because they're a West Coast team, so people don't see him as much. Herbert's really good, man. He can spin it. He can make every throw on the field. He's a good leader. That's a pretty good team. I think that your point there is a valid one. It's not exactly where I was going to go. I think that part of it is that in the hobby, and there's an example happened this week that should prove to you what I'm getting ready to say. If you're a football fan, an actual avid football fan who understands the game, maybe played at a relatively high level, you are not that much behind several front office GMs. And this week, that was made very apparent. Now, yes, he was the Jets GM, but he was the Jets GM for like 4 years. Mike Tannenbaum, who's now on ESPN, came up with a trade proposal for Myles Garrett and proposed it as if it was a legitimate trade offer and was offended when every other person on that stage laughed in his face. And it was their Who Says No segment. And the trade he proposed was for the Lions to get Myles Garrett. And I like that idea. They lost Aiden Hutchinson. That's a great idea. The price that he thought was appropriate was 3 first-rounders, a second-rounder, and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Whoa.
Exactly. Like, he got laughed at in his face by former players. So
It's all on this year, baby.
My point is that NFL GMs a lot of times get sucked into being trying to want to be the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
So don't blame Bryce Young that he was the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
He's the same quarterback right now as he was at Alabama.
He's got to be I'm guessing he's a decent human being too.
Yeah, he seems like it.
Yeah.
The difference is at Alabama, he had better receivers than he has right now. At Alabama, he had a better offensive line than he has now. And this is the key part. At Alabama, he was a better athlete than most of the D linemen he was playing against. So he could scramble around and get away from guys and make things happen. He is not a better athlete than most backup defensive linemen in the NFL. And he doesn't have a single physical trait or mental trait that makes him stand out above anybody else. He has an average arm, maybe a below average arm in some respects. They list him at 5'10". That dude ain't 5'10". He might be 5'9", maybe. I think he's probably closer to 5'8", 5'8.5". He's not very fast. He doesn't have great mechanics, and he sails the ball a lot because he can't see over anything and he can't get to the edge, which is where he did most of his damage in college. It's not his fault that a team said, let's make you the number one pick and give you lots of money. He's trying to do what has made him good his whole life. It's just not capable of doing it at the NFL level. He'll have a long career in the NFL. He will be a backup and a spot starter.
And he could be improved.
He can be, but he's never going to change. The genetic qualities are never going to change. Mm-hmm. They are what they are. And he doesn't have, like, Drew Brees was 6 foot. Drew Brees was 3 inches taller. Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson is 5'10" and a half. He's an inch and a half or two taller.
How tall is Kyler?
Kyler's 5'9", but Kyler is one of the fastest human beings on planet Earth, and he has a rocket for an arm.
And he has to jump sometimes to throw.
Yeah, but he can do it.
Yeah.
Bryce, every one of those guys, though, had at least one characteristic, most of the time, a couple, that were standout characteristics that made them special. Bryce Young doesn't have any of those things. It's not his fault, and it's not his fault that the Carolina Panthers decided to take the number one pick and trade their whole future for him. That's not his fault, just like it wasn't Mitch Trubisky's fault that the Bears took him ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Let's not blame the players when their front offices are idiots.
Yeah.
And also, don't go buy his cards. They're not a good buy.
The other point is you can be very wrong or very right.
Yeah.
At the beginning of a season. It is cool to kind of see. I do think there's been a resurgence to the run game this year. And you see a little bit more of it happening at the college level as well.
Well, football's cyclical.
Yeah.
It always
that
is.
Spread offense, Wildcat stuff's kind of a little more.
Well, teams are just playing cover 2 shell all the time. They're playing cover 2, cover 4. They're rotating to 3 with motion, and they're just shelling it out and saying, if you're going to throw the ball, you're going to have to throw it underneath, and we're going to rally up and tackle you, and we're going to keep 5 or 6 guys in the box, and we're going to see if you're patient enough to run the ball. And for a long time, that wasn't the case. That's why I get so frustrated with Chip Kelly at Ohio State. He is not patient enough to run the ball 15 straight plays if that's what the defense gives him.
If that's what will work.
I mean, my head coach, the last guy that I was an offensive coordinator for about 2 weeks would yell at me every week, "You're predictable." And I was like, because one game I ran the exact same play 9 straight times to the same spot. It wasn't even going hash to hash.
I played Madden with you. I believe
it was power right. It was power right. That was it. I did it out of the same formation. You know why? Because they didn't stop it a single time.
Yeah.
And if they had stopped it once, I'd have run it 2 more times to see if they could stop it again. Show me you can stop it, and then I'll change. And I think that some coaches are finally figuring out, okay, we're going to do what they give us. I'm not going to try to be a wizard and put up massive numbers. I want to win games. And if that means the game gets shorter and we only get 7 possessions, 6 possessions, and we run the ball.
I have noticed a lot more clock management this year too. So I do love seeing that kind of shift, just how you have to think a little differently about it. Makes it fun.
It'll get cyclical, and as more teams start doing that, you'll start getting that 6th guy back in the box, and then you'll get to more play action stuff, and then you'll get the shift down again, and then you'll get back to spread, and it comes in 10-year waves.
I got you a little too excited there.
I love football. I love the minutia of football. It's fun.
All right, what do we have coming up? You are going to be where this weekend?
Eastgate Mall in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, down on the east side.
Also, sneaky play right now, card-wise. DeAndre Hopkins rookies are still cheap.
Yep.
He may just win a Super Bowl this year and cement himself as a Hall of Famer.
His low-end stuff's flying out of my store right now.
So don't be afraid to maybe go pick up a little bit of his stuff, because I think he's a borderline Hall of Famer as it sits right now. And now that he's with the Chiefs.
He's 2013?
Yes. And
that means there's a bajillion products out there. There's a lot that
you get some nice looking stuff.
Yeah,
for pretty
that
cheap.
year you have a lot of licensed stuff. Autos, low numbered relics are pretty cool still. Some products that aren't around anymore. It's like 2013 is actually a pretty fun year to collect football.
And he had 2 tutties this week, and the Chiefs desperately need a receiver that they can actually rely on. It would not shock me if he starts getting 10, 11 targets a week down the stretch.
Kansas City's not going to get worse the rest of this year. That's not how they do things.
No.
You leave them in the mix, they're gonna be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
So. You got anything else for today?
No, bro. I think that's it.
This has been the Ball Card Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
Bye now.
Peace.